What's up, this is Traa from P.O.D. I just want to do a shout out to SIT Strings. Best strings in the world. Peace.
Every day is a new day.
My mom played trumpet, my dad played like sousaphone or tuba or something like that. But in my family, I've been pretty much the only one that's really been, pursued music at this level. And music's always been a part of my life though. Ever since I was a little kid, my parents used to play a lot of old school like R&B and stuff on the radio, and rock and roll stuff like that. So
I feel so alive.
I think the first bass player I ever listened to that really turned me on to music was Stanley Clarke. And again, it was listening to all those old soul records and all that old funk stuff, Larry Graham, stuff like that. And I started probably when I was about 17 years old, maybe 16, 17. I started playing bass. Very nice.
A new song for me to sing.
First, who inspired me more when I first started playing was Larry Graham, and I would have to say Stanley Clarke. Those were my two inspirations when I was first starting to learn how to play.
Now that I see you,
I have to say Les Claypool from Primus. He's basically definitely fused, rock and funk together, and to me, he's like the Jimi Hendrix of bass. So I have to be Les Claypool.
I can't deny you. I feel so alive.
My first band was called Focus. It was a high school band. We were kind of, doing a whole bunch of old Prince.
It's time, and I think I can fly.
I like both, man. They're both so different from each other. Playing in the studio is a totally different experience, and playing live is a totally different experience. So I have to say I like both equally. Man, both of them go hand in hand. I mean, people don't understand that there's music it's called the music business. So I mean, there's a creative side of it that's very important, but then there's a whole business side of it that's equally as important. I think the balance is, when I'm in the studio doing the creative thing, I put on a creative hat. But after that stuff's done, then it's time to start dealing with the business side of it. So, I think it's really important to have both, but I do the creative first and then do the business afterwards.
The very first time,
I think the most important thing for any musician, not just only bass players, but any musician, is passion. Whatever you do, you gotta have a passion for it, man. And I think that if you're just playing because the guitar player, your bass player quit, and your guitar player filling those shoes, I don't think you're gonna have the same outcome. And I don't think the satisfaction is gonna be as great. So as a bass player, I think you really need to love playing it. And bass is one of those instruments that really require you to have a lot of heart when you're playing any emotion.
I feel so alive.
The story's funny, man. I was actually touring, and I was trying to find strings that were inexpensive, and I couldn't find any. The only thing they had out was these really expensive like DRs and stuff like that. And I went to a store, and I'll never forget, it was in Champaign, Illinois. It was a mom and pop like music store, and they had SIT strings up, and they were like $15, and all the other strings were like 20. I popped them on my bass, and they were the best sounding strings I'd ever put on my bass ever. And not only did they sound good, they lasted for like 4 or 5 shows. Normally I'd have to change them out, pretty frequently, but they lasted for a long time. And I remember thinking, dude, these are the best strings I've ever played. We traveled around a little bit more. I tried to find them in stores. I couldn't find them anywhere except for this one store. So I called you guys up and said, hey man, how do I get SIT strings? Because I can't find them anywhere. And you guys kind of looked me up then.
The rest, instead of taking the test, I took 2 to the chest.
Right there. Right there. Get a close up on those. Rock Bryce, bro.
Really know this kid that wants to buy him in class. Maybe this kid was reaching out.
I think it's to inspire other musicians to want to play music. Like I was inspired by other musicians that were playing music when I was growing up. Trumpet players. I was more inspired by more trumpet players than anything. What's his name? Quincy Jones. I was a huge fan of Quincy Jones, and he's not even a bass player. He's just a musician, man. So, just to inspire other musicians to want to play music.
Youth of the nation. Little Susie, she was only 12. She was given the world with every chance to excel. Hang with the boys and hear the stories they tell. She might act kind of proud, but no respect for herself. She finds love in all the wrong places, the same situations, just different faces. Changed up her pace since her daddy left her. Too bad he never told her she deserved much better.